Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. This is HD, and once again, I'm back at you guys for another HD broadcast. And I've got a pretty special treat for you guys. For those of you who were not able to tune in to Tuesday's broadcast of IPL TV, as you guys all now know, I do work very closely with IGN. We do these daily videos with that are live, and we actually do them behind a desk. We broadcast games that the community sends in. For those of you guys who are not able to catch those games that were broadcasted on Tuesday, I'm going to be doing a rebroadcast. And if you guys are watching this video right now, then I'm probably already at MLG. I probably got my ass kicked already pretty hard. I'm sitting in the corner crying, whatever. But I casted all these games on Wednesday, and I'm just uploading them right now because I want to make sure that you guys have content for while I'm gone at MLG. So yeah, this is going to be a rebroadcast. If you guys haven't, tuned in to IPL TV at all, then this is just fresh new content. So sit back, enjoy. These were some really, really good games as well, guys. So I'm super excited. It is going to be Tgun, the pink Zerg at the top left-hand corner, and 6 Jacks Terran, the blue Terran, down in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, is going to be Tal'Darim Altar. 6 Jacks Terran is also known as 6 Jacks Major for this game, at least. And I'm not exactly sure why he was playing on this account, 6 Jacks Terran. But rest assured, he is Major, and as one of my co-casters, Pain User, always loves to point out, Major is one of the North American players who has been probably the most consistent and one of the most mechanically sound players in North America, period. And I always hear him saying that, Major is probably going to do very, very well at MLG at Anaheim, and I guess by the time this video comes out, we'll see. So, yeah, this is going to be a Terran versus Zerg. It's going to be on Tal'Darim Altar. I did just get off of work, and the very first thing I wanted to do was get home and cast, simply because I haven't really had time to cast all that much, and I do apologize, guys. I'm so sorry. I want to cast more games, but, I'm working super hard at IGN, and then when I come home, I have to practice as many Starcraft 2 games as possible, and, with all that practice, it's very hard for me to record games and broadcast at the same time. It's kind of cool that I do the daily ladder, or a version of the ladder again, because that allows me to do ladder games and broadcast as well, but not all the games I play I record. So that is a situation, but when I do record it, I do upload it. But anyways, all that stuff aside, it does look like we're going to be seeing a fast expand out of Major here, right off of one barracks. And Tgun is also going for a hatchery first build here, so both players opening up with quick expansions, which seems to indicate that they want to go for a macro-based game. They want to get as much economy going as possible. And on a map like Tal'Darim Altar, you can't really blame them. This is a map that's very much a big map, lots of expansions to take all over the map, and usually dictates. You can usually infer that the players are going to want to play a very long-based game. Speaking of the map, it does seem like Blizzard has announced that they are taking Metalopolis out of the map pool. Rest in peace, Metalopolis. I loved you. You were a great map, and you were good for my Zerg forces and the Swarm. But you are now out of the map pool, so I salute you. I hope someone makes a tribute video of Metalopolis. I can't count the number of awesome games that I've casted on Metalopolis and the games that I've seen, man. I still recall one of the best games, one of the most turning point games in Starcraft 2 beta. The one that kind of blew Starcraft 2 out of the water was a game, I believe it was with TLO and Noni, or TLO and Nazgul, where TLO dropped a nuke on the gold expansion on one of those players. So it was a very, very epic game, very epic map. My hat's off to Metalopolis, although, hold that thought, we do have some Marines coming in here. They are going to try to do a little bit of damage. Tgun wisely pulling his queen back there, very smart, doesn't want to lose his queen here, and it looks like he will be able to repel the Marines for now. And, yeah, I think there's a couple of other things I wanted to say with regards to new updates with Blizzard. It seems, guys, that Season 3 is now well underway, and it just released this morning, I'm told. Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to actually physically log on to Battle.net to check it out, but I'm told there are 4 new maps. The community apparently is very divided about those new maps. I will hopefully be able to start playing some ladder games on those maps soon and uploading some of those broadcasts, maybe after I'm done broadcasting for today. That's the goal. So I'll hop on ladder. The other nice thing is the leagues are now unlocked, so I have a chance to hit Masters League before I drive down to Anaheim tomorrow, which means I have a total of 24 hours, maybe less, to bust out as many games as possible and get promoted. And if I don't get promoted, I'm gonna be so sad. But hopefully I do, guys. And I'll upload some first-person view VODs in the next couple of days. So yeah. Now it does look like, getting back to this game at hand, Terran has, aka Major, has went ahead and thrown up a barracks wall here. Pretty smart play. Gonna keep the forces from coming in, but the tech lab was canceled right there. Now Major has to throw up a double tech lab, but I don't think Tgun is gonna try to kill this one, simply because the Marines are too close to it. And back inside the main, Terran is going for the blue flame upgrade. Oh, I love that, man. It actually looks like a blue flame now. This has been a recent update in a couple, I think it was a couple weeks old or something like that. But pretty awesome. Major is going to be going for the blue flame upgrade, and it looks like he may be waiting for 6 Hellions, possibly 8. No, gonna just go for 6 Hellions, throwing down the second tech lab, and the 6 Hellion blue flame rush is a fairly powerful one. What the heck do we have going on here? Okay. Kills off the Zergling. Anyways, 6 blue flame Hellions are coming out right now, and they are fairly strong. They do a lot of damage. This is a very powerful timing push, and we'll see if if Tgun is prepared for this. His building placement is not the best to prevent blue flame Hellions. He does have 16 Lings on the way right now. Doesn't look like Major's gonna be able to get in there though. Oh, Major deciding to run away. He maybe had an opportunity to run in there, but with those reinforcing Lings coming out, perhaps it was a wiser decision to not run in there, because that could have been pretty disastrous. Remember, a Terran player who goes for this 6 blue flame Hellion opening, that's all the forces he has on the map. If he loses these Hellions, he forfeits all form and semblance of map control, and that is pretty bad, because when the Terran player has these blue flame Hellions on the map, they can prevent drones from going around and capturing 4th and 5th expansions. They can keep the creep from spreading. They can do various amounts of things, and so, you know, sacrificing those Hellions maybe to get a couple of Ling kills or even a bunch of drone kills, in the long run, it may not be entirely worth it. Now Major, of course, knows all about that. He pulled away with his Hellions. Gonna go ahead, and looks like both players are gonna be going for their 3rd expansion here. Definitely gearing up to be a pretty macro-oriented game here. Let's go ahead and check the first-person view, something I don't do enough. This is Tgun's first-person view, who is spamming away at a very modest 108 APM. Must be a very efficient player to be such a low APM Zerg in, you know, whatever league he's in. I'm assuming Grandmasters to be playing against Major. But a fairly low APM Zerg. Typically you see Protoss with a lower side of APM, and Major here at a blisteringly fast in comparison, 226 APM. That's over double the amount of actions per minute that his Zerg opponent is fielding right now. And with good reason too, you know, there's justification for that. He is trying to go for a drop while microing Hellions around the map and macroing all at the same time. So definitely a lot of things going on for Major right now. And it looks like he's about to prepare to drop that Hellion in, so let's go ahead and switch back to all view so we do not get seizures and throw up all over the place, as Major is going to come in here with about, oh, it's not Hellions, it's 8 Marines coming in here. Oh, the 4 Hellions at the front door, the blue flame Hellions getting picked off by a fungal growth. Beautiful play by Tgun here. I didn't even realize he was going for Infestors, and this is almost like a Destiny-esque style build with Infestors and Lings. Meanwhile, though, Major trying to drop a couple of Marines inside the main, and it looks like Tgun getting his Lings right in there in the nick of time to prevent those Marines from dropping off. So the drop is thwarted, the blue flame Hellion harass is thwarted, and if anything, Major there giving up a huge part of control in this game, and now Tgun, I think, taking a slight lead in that regard. But it does look like Major, despite the setback, is going to continue pushing forward. Love the positioning of the tanks, by the way, guys. They are just ever so slightly on the high ground, meaning that obviously any ranged units will have a little bit more difficulty getting to hit the tanks. Although that doesn't really play too much of a part for Zerg, simply because you have so many melee units. Now, it does look like Major's going to run in here one more time. He's going to get a couple of Ling kills. Pretty good damage being done here. He's gonna end up killing the queen as well, and that queen is going to be very costly. Gonna have to be rebuilt, or gonna have to rebuild that for Tgun, and of course all that time lost on injecting larvae is gonna be a little bit painful as well. And as for right now, it almost looks like Major is setting up a somewhat light contain over the Zerg, being ever so cautious not to advance over the creep, because that is when things get a little dicey for Terran players, because literally, I'm quoting Artosis here, but I think it may be day 9, but Speedlings just skate on ice. All Zerg units kind of skate on ice. They're like rollerblading. It's a skate park here, and you don't want to get on the creep when you're a Terran, at least not with your whole army. And what you do want to do is move it with packs of Marines and pick off creep tumors with Comsat. And notice that's what Major was doing, at least until he ran into the vomit known as fungal growth. So he's going to have to run back and get himself healed up just a little bit. And he'll be able to do that again momentarily. But this is a bit of a sticky situation for our Zerg player, although he's going to try to do a little bit of a backstab here with some Speedlings, and oh my god, Major opting to go for the orbital command rather than going for the planetary. Maybe going to lose a lot of SCVs here, and meanwhile, it looks like Major was getting a little bit too boisterous with his tanks on the left side, and he ends up losing several of the tanks on the left, and that means the rest of his tanks in the center are going to go down as well. And this is the problem with, you know, doing that kind of a light contain while Major was able to clear out these lings in the background at the third. You know, if you're gonna do this kind of light contain, you can't hope to advance with tanks to the left here and start to spread your tanks out too far away, because they're not backing up each other, they're not able to provide covering fire for each other, and that means that Tgun will be able to, you know, get the pounce off and kill several tanks. And now all map control yielding over to the Zerg player, Tgun even able to get back into the third one more time. Although there are a lot of tanks up there, so I don't think he's going to be able to hit the natural, but he's going to prevent all mining at the third. And, you know, Major, that sound, mechanical, very precise style of play, he's kind of falling apart at the seams right now, and it almost seems like, you know, he may be a little bit too greedy. Typically, Terran players will get the planetary at the third, since that's where Zergs will hit it, but, you know, that greed has cost him by going for the orbital, and I think he's lost a lot of SCVs. If we pull up that worker tab, relatively even. Workers killed tab, 21 workers killed for Tgun, but if we pull up the nameplates, surprisingly, Tgun is not ahead of Major. So despite Major losing tanks in the middle and all of his containing units, despite Major taking several hits at the third expansion, Major's sound mechanical style of play, his macro, has enabled him to still be ahead in this game, and he's continuing to open up that gap to now 139 over 125. Jesus, that's quite impressive, and this is why I see now, this is why all my co-casters, everyone, almost everyone at least, agrees that Major is one of those players that is so solid, so good. Now we do have his Marines once again moving in, trying to do a little bit of harassing. This is what the Terrans want to do. Let's see how many kills he can get. He's encountered a couple of roaches though, and with the drones in hot pursuit as well, I think Major will have to lift off for now. And the nice thing though on Tal'Darim is when you're dropping the Terran, you can, or dropping the Zerg, you can, you know, go from the natural to the main. And hello, Major has more Marines back here as well. Major doing dual prong drops at the same time. Really nice play right here. You know, just doing a little bit of damage here or there, harassing the Zerg wherever possible. Major coming in with a third dropship possibly. Wow, this is almost like an MMA style of play. Marine Medvac Abuser. Excuse me, and it looks like he is going to go ahead and abuse those Marines and Medvacs to their fullest capacity. And here comes the stim, really wants to force a cancel, forces a cancel on the hatchery. The drone goes down as well. Well played by Major. And you know, this is why, I think this is why Major, despite all those setbacks, despite losing his main tank force in the center, he's still ahead in this game. It's all coming down to his brilliant, well-executed drops. He's now once again pushing across the center of the map, and I would not be surprised to see him just camp this high ground this time around. I don't think he's going to get too overzealous and overextend his tanks, because that's what cost his contain last game. And you know, he really didn't need to do that. So I think this time around he's going to be much safer with it, although he is kind of spreading his Marines once again, leaving these tanks on the left side a little bit exposed. We'll see what happens. Tgun has, on the other side of the map, has a lot of infestors. He's got 7 infestors out right now with oh man, Ultralisk coming out pretty soon. And wow, the 2-2 upgrades have already been finished, and 3-3 is currently on the way, as well as Adrenal Glands. So those Lings are about to get infused with a healthy dose of crack, and they're going to be able to boom, 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 just take out units so fast. Their attack speed and their speed in general just increases by so much, and it looks like Tgun here is going to be forced to engage before the +3/+3 or the Adrenal Glands finishes. However, it looks like he may have enough Lings to just wipe the floor of all of Major's forces, and Major's entire army getting ravaged. And Tgun here coming in here with the Infestors. They don't even have to do any work, man. They were just coming a little late to the party, and the Lings did all the work for them. However, Tgun may end up losing the hatchery here. Yes, he does. And another snipe of a hatchery for Major. So essentially, a 3-base Terran versus a 3-base Zerg. And, you know, Tgun, that's not good for him. He just doesn't have that much economy in his favor. And it's essentially, you know, an even base to an even base situation. But, you know, still kudos to Tgun for making a game out of this, despite the fact that he's, oh my god, just lost all of his Infestors. That could not have gone any worse for Tgun. I was going to say, you know, despite all of this, Tgun has been playing really well with his Infestors, keeping them alive, and he's been doing such a good job with them. So I still think he's got a great shot in this game. But with that blow, that huge blow to his army, and losing all those high intensive gas units, I honestly feel like Major is now in firm control of this game. It's almost absolutely certain now that Major is going to, you know, Major's just going to be able to walk all over Tgun. I mean, just look at it. Major's got one extra mining base. Tgun is trying to establish this fourth, although that may be thwarted because some Marines are getting a little happy over there on the right side of that fourth expansion, and they may end up hitting it before the hatchery even comes up. And on top of that, Tgun has no Infestors. He has supplemented some Ultras though, but I don't know, man. I don't know if these Ultras are gonna be enough. He really needs his Infestors, and what a blow losing all of those spellcasters. That was just crucial. Now these Ultras and Lings do have the max upgrades, so they are able to do a lot of damage. I mean, look at how fast those tanks fall. They just go down almost instantaneously. These Lings are doing so much damage. Oh my god. Running in there, they took forever to kill. They did a lot of damage. And hello, Tgun coming in here against the planetary, but all those SCVs are repairing, and now Fungal Guns going down across the SCVs, and all the SCVs in the red, but they are continuing to repair. It looks like Tgun may be a little bit distracted with some Marine dropping action inside his third expansion. And is he gonna lay a Fungal Growth, or is this planetary going to kill off this entire army? The reinforcements are coming in, and Tgun finally launching the Fungals to kill off the SCVs, and the planetary goes down. The 5-3 Ultralisks handling the Marines and Marauders for some time, at least enough to buy time for the Lings to come in, and it looks like, most importantly, the Infestors are saved. They were backed up against the wall for a second there, and I thought for sure maybe they were going to go down, but they ended up surviving. Oh, no, I counted my chickens a little too early. Sorry, Infestors, but you all die. That's okay though. I still feel like that was a great trade for Tgun, simply because, you know, if he's gonna play this low econ style, essentially he's only got one base mining, then what he needs to do in turn is make sure that Major also is forced to play a low econ style, because Major's real strength is macro, in my opinion. So choking and constricting the Terran player here and preventing him from getting any access to minerals or gas, I think is going to be his best option of winning, and taking out that planetary, sweet and golden. And I mean, you guys can even see it. Look at Major's minerals. He's got 200 gas and almost 1,800, or 200 minerals and almost 1,800 gas. Yeah, the best playstyle here for our Zerg player is going to be to keep that Terran economy down and to play a one base versus one base situation at this point. I don't think that Tgun can hope to grab any more expansions, at least not against all these dropships and Major's incessant dropping. Although, though, we do have a little bit of an attack here, and Tgun is going to be able to force those dropships away for now. And a fungal comes down, a double fungal comes down, really nice. Ooh. Double fungal across the rainbow, triple fungal. Okay, that may have been a little bit of overkill. I'm sure Tgun could have just, you know, spawned some infested Terrans, but despite that, able to kill up a couple dropships. No small, you know, a little small victory right there is definitely helpful. And oh man, once again, this has been the name of the game Major maybe going in for yet another drop attack here. Going straight for a hatchery before it is even allowed to deploy itself. And the hatchery is going down. I feel so sorry for this drone. You know, he wanted to become a hatchery all his life. It's going to be denied. No! Saved by Lings at the last second. And the hatchery is allowed to go up. That's a fresh infusion of resources for Tgun. This is like the, I don't know. This is like the Holy Land right now. Tgun has to make sure this does not go down, and he needs to transfer his drones pronto. At the same time, though, Major grabbing a double expand. Oh my goodness, he's gonna get all these fresh minerals. Look at his mineral count, man. This is gonna skyrocket up. He's gonna need this so badly. In fact, we can look at the income tab. There we go. Look at that mineral intake now coming back up. And oh my god, Major coming in once again. If he uses a stim, he'll be able to take out the hatchery. No, Major decides to fall back. Maybe that was a smart decision. There's a lot of infestors coming in here, but despite that, the infestors getting one of the dropships at least. And that is definitely gonna go down. That sucks. So the hatchery remains alive for now. It is kind of hemorrhaging right now across all sides, like bleeding to death. Someone get a band-aid for that. Yeah, that's gonna be an upgrade in Heart of the Swarm. Band-aid for buildings, for the Zerg only. Anyways, it does look like Tgun has a lot of Lings. Good babies. Jesus lordy, he's got a lot of Lings. And wow, another dropship getting picked off there. And Tgun has a lot of infestors as well. You know, I almost feel like Tgun's army may be a little bit more superior to Major's. Major right now transferring over SCVs over to his own 5th expansion. No doubt he wants to keep this alive as well. Both players operating off of 2 base apiece. But we may have a pretty big engagement here. The Lings running in! The Lings running in! Oh my god, where the Lings are coming in, but where are the infestors? The infestors being a little lazy, not wanting to join the battle, and all these Lings running into the fight. I'm not sure if this was the best idea. Looks like we have another dropship going off over here, but a couple of Lings. Wise of Tgun sending a small party to deal with that. Otherwise, he would have lost his hatchery for sure. Now, I'm not entirely sure all those Lings was, well, you know what? I was gonna say it wasn't worth it, but he did manage to kill off, I believe, all the tanks. No, there are still 6 tanks out on the map. Well, he was able to trade somewhat, and I guess he does have a lot of minerals to reinvest into more Lings, but, you know, that attack could have been so much more effective if he just brought some of these lazy bum infestors. What were they doing? They're just sleeping on the job. Oh, man. They were just chilling back there. They didn't even do a thing in that battle, and it almost seemed like Tgun couldn't make up his mind whether he wanted to use infestors to defend or attack. But, you know, all the while he's waiting, he's allowing Major to get minerals, and minerals equals more Marines, more medvacs, more, I don't know, more tanks, more Marauders, everything. And I don't think that Tgun can afford to allow this to happen. Look at the muleage that's going on here. That's 5 mules. That's recuperating at least, I don't know, 1,000 minerals a minute. That's insane. And Tgun's allowing this to just happen. I feel like Tgun has a superior army. He needs to trade one more time, but this time trade with your infestors as well. Bring those babies in. You know, don't just let the Lings in. Don't send the Lings in by yourself. That's just immorally wrong. So yes, bring out your caster units as well and do a full-on trade. It does, you know, it does look like Major has got some force in the bottom right-hand corner. He may opt to go for a hatchery here as he's coming out right now of the bushes, and yes, indeed, he is going to do that. These Lings are, I don't know what they're doing. They're just running back and forth, getting a little bit of exercise, running the marathon, but they encounter the Marines and Marauders, and they're going to go down, and the hatchery on the top right is going to go down as well, and Tgun now preparing to do a massive counterattack, but I'm not entirely sure what he's thinking here, and Comsat just goes down across all the Lings and the Ultras, and Major well aware now of what's going on over there on the left side, but good gracious, that is so many infestors and Lings. I think there's more infestors than there are Lings at this point. I mean, no, that can't be possible. All right, that's not entirely true, but that's a lot of infestors, man. They're big and bulky. They look, you know, they look like they could be the size of 30 Lings apiece. But anyways, we may have a pretty big engagement here. Where is Major's army? It almost looks a little lackluster for some reason. I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. Major's maxed, but his army looks really, really small. Obviously, some of that being the ghosts, they are small units and they do take up a lot of supply, and of course there are marauders as well, but it almost seems like the tank count is really too low to deal with this, and we have a massive engagement. Oh my god! Mind control over the ghosts, launching an EMP on all the other ghosts, and Major unable to get any spells off against the infestors. The infestors launching massive fungal growths. It's a vomit hell here, and all the Marines and marauders are just gonna get ravaged by those ultralists. Brilliant engaged by Tgun, and I don't think you could ask for a better engagement than that, man. I mean, mind controlling the enemy ghost and landing an EMP down on the entire ghost squad. That's money, and that is more money as well. Look at those fungals just destroying all those SCVs, and Tgun here on a rampage. He's just blitzing through everything right now, and I don't know if Major can recover from this. He really doesn't have a very big army at all, and oh no, we have another engagement here. The Ultras just running in there. Look at those Ultras, they're 5-3. They take almost no damage from these Marines. Literally, the Marines do 9 damage, Ultras have 6 armor, so they take 3 damage per shot from a Marine. It's like the Marines are tickling them. Look at the Ultras, they're all in the red, and despite that, they're still cleaving through this Marine Marauder tank army without a care in the world. Look at that! Look at that, those Ultras are so strong. Major is not looking at that. He's just completely preoccupied with his own little drop squad over there. And I mean, kudos to him. He's trying to get back in this game by, moving around the map and stuff, but I think he's got to worry a little bit more about his base. Look, one of these Ultras have made their way into the main here, finally going down to concentrated tank fire, and it does look like Tgun is going to pull back for now. Oh, did he just lose his Spire? Ah, that kind of sucks. Anyways, Tgun is going to pull back for now because he's lost all his heavy tanking units. Oh, he's going to end up losing a lot of infestors as well if he's not careful. Can't afford to lose that. But he's going to fall back to his Broodlords, and that may be... Oh man, he's going to lose the Broodlords as well. Ouch. So Tgun, I guess this little side squadron side attack actually paid off a lot because Major bought himself a little bit more breathing room. He forced the entire army to fall back away from his main. And if anything, he can breathe a sigh of relief now because... well, basically because he would have lost the game, I feel like. He would have just, his entire buildings, all his infrastructure and his architecture and his main was just falling apart. But he is a Terran, he is sound and resilient, he is getting right back into the thick of things, and he's got a new, fresh army of Marines and Marauders. And honestly, he's not too far behind the Zerg in economy, in army. Wow, I can't believe it. Major is still in this game. I thought for sure he was done and out watching all those Ultras run into his main, but he's not. He's still fighting, still in this game. He will lose the dropships, unfortunately, but he's still right up in this game. He ends up killing all those Corruptors, actually. Not bad at all, and man, these Marine Marauder drops have been doing damage all day long. Look at some of these Marines, 8 kills, 12 kill Marine. I didn't even know a Marine could become a sergeant, man. I thought you had to be a Marauder to become a sergeant. Look at this Marauder, 13 kills, 7 kills. What is going on here, man? This is like the elite drop squad. They should have just sent this in to take out Osama. But wow, so much damage. These guys are like Navy Team SEAL 6 or one of those elite squadrons, able to kill off the hatchery. So Major is going to be able to get that real estate uncontested as well. Oh, never mind. Definitely going to be a contest. So those lings coming in there will prevent that command center from going down when the creep recedes. Major doing such a good job leaving those Marauders and Marines alive. Oh, well, maybe not the Marines, but definitely the Marauders. They all deserve some kind of a commendation or something. It looks like the Lings, though, moving across the map, are doing a fairly good job of keeping Major from landing his command centers down, or at least getting any kind of valuable mining out of that. So that is definitely an annoyance for Major. Despite that, though, Major's sound mechanics is still keeping him in this game. Look, he's got forces in the middle. He's still mobilizing troops across the map. And he's still got a little bit of mining going on at the very least, although it is definitely diminishing. Look at this, 70 minerals, 35. Yeah, these minerals patches are about to deplete. And Major's gonna have to figure something out. I think either land a command center here, land it here. I don't know, maybe land it there as well. This guy is looking for some place to land down and become a fully functional CC, but I think Major he may be falling further and further in the hole. The longer he waits, either he's got to macro out of this, or he's got to make some kind of a concerted push with his main army in the middle of the map, because he is still, you know, he's falling behind. The Zerg is still mining very healthily off of at least one base, and there's a lot of Lings and Infestors moving across the center of the map. So I don't know, maybe Majors at this point is at a very bad position. They might not be able to win. Oh my god, EMP's going off, the Ghosts are getting caught out of position, and the EMPs miss the Infestors. That is very, very big, and now the Infestors able to launch their Fungal Growth, and Major leaves the game. All right, so that was actually a really, really epic game. And I'm glad I got a chance to cast it again, and I'm glad I got a chance to upload it to you guys on YouTube. So, wow, what a game by Major and Tgun. Really long and extended Zerg versus Terran. Look at that. We even had a starport building a couple of Vikings back here as well. And yeah, that was a great game. I still have a couple more games I want to do that were broadcasted on Tuesday's IPL TV. And they include some pretty epic matches as well. Pretty epic. Almost, dare I say, more epic than this game. Actually, yes. Definitely more epic than this game. There were some really, really good ones. So don't go anywhere, guys. Definitely stay tuned. And if you guys get a chance, root for me at MLG. In fact, if you guys even see me around, you know, give me a pat on the head, or, you know, say what's up, or something, anything. So yeah, that'll be it for me, guys. I want to thank you guys all for tuning in, and this is HD signing out.